Good day everyone, I am Janalia Sahamito with my groupmates Mr. Malcolm Davin Gonzaga and Miss Leia Anlanit. We are the group 4 that will be discussing about the gender roles in the Philippines, Asian, African, and Western societies. At the end of the chapter, the students are expected to discuss the concept of gender roles, explain how gender roles vary by society and culture, illustrate how gender roles shape individual behavior. By starting the presentation, I want to ask you, are you familiar with the play of William Shakespeare As You Like It? The message of the play is, all the world's a stage, and all men and women are merely players. Meaning, everyone has a role to perform, a task to work on, whether it is on the home, school, or in the society as a whole. And we need to be aware of our rules. Because by neglecting or ignoring such important concept of our life, it's like we are not giving ourselves the full acknowledgement and knowledge. So, what is the definition of gender roles? These are the roles that are the tasks and responsibilities we are supposed to do in a particular situation or place. Gender roles are the basis on how we should act, behave, or carry ourselves in a particular situation or place. For example, at home, bilang mga anak, we are supposed to be obedient to our parents, and our parents are responsible for providing our needs, and it comes on moral support, financial, so on and so forth. Another example is in schools. As students, we are supposed to take quizzes, activities, and do reportings. While the teacher is responsible for teaching the objectives, lessons, and discussions, and etc. Second definition of gender role are, rules are ascribed to us even upon birth. As soon as our biological sex is determined, our roles are assigned as well. Meaning, simula mga bata pa lang tayo is tinuturuan na tayo kung ano yung mga dapat nating gawin. For example, kung paano tayo manamit, paano tayo umupo, or for example is on girls. It is more on feminine and conservative. While sa boys, they're okay on wearing such shirts kasi naman wala naman silang private parts na ganun na dapat itago. And also the fact na boys, dapat ang mga nilalaro is mga toy guns, cars, and etc. Third definition is, gender roles are influenced by the norms determined by the society. Meaning, gender roles are the set standards or expectations coming from the societal norms na most of us is pinaniniwalaan natin. Sabi rin dito na children learn their gender roles through the socialization process on which four major agents reinforce such rules on them. So, the concept of gender socialization process is the gender roles itself and how it is created. It is through the four major agents of the gender socialization, which is the family, education, peer group, and mass media. The first one is family. Dito nasisimula ang lahat on how a specific gender is being taught about their rules, responsibilities, and tasks to work on. In the early age of a child, through the concept of a play, na-imitate nila kung ano yung pinapakita ng nasa paligid nila or kung ano yung tinuturo sa kanila. And in this stage din, or in this agent, nagsaset na tayo agad ng mga gender rules na sa tingin natin na akma dun sa specific gender na yun. Second is education. I read some articles stating women are less intelligent compared to men. And because of that, women are supposed to take humanitarian courses, while men, they are supposed to take math and science programs. They give more freedom to boys for expanding their ideas. And both genders traditionally treated as competition and not collaboration. By this concept, we can say na education as a major agent of gender socialization involves stereotyping and inequality. Or baaring din yung sa other agent is meron na rin ganun na konsepto. Third is per group. So masasabi natin na when people join together with similar attributes or similar gender orientation, mas napapalawak nila yung concept kung ano yung mga kaya nila or yung mga dapat nilang gawin. Yung full understanding and knowledge is mas naiintindihan nila. Fourth is mass media. Through advertisements and televisions and other mass media communication, mas napropromote yung mga gender rules na sa tingin natin is akma sa specific gender ng isang tao. For example, dun is yung mga beauty products, detergents, na usually nakikita natin sa mga babae. And in men, yung mga mabibigat na mga gawain, ganun. Sabi, all in all, these four agents of gender socialization may differ in a context based on how society use and see it. The examples are the countries we are going to tackle about later on. So, if we are going to apply the four major agents of gender socialization in a society, ganito yung mangyayari. For example is, patriarchal yung isang society, na kung saan mas pinapahalaga nila yung men. So, during the family or basic unit of society is mas pahalagahan nila lalaki, then they will think men are the breadwinners, primary providers for the family, while the women, they are only responsible for the household chores. So, hindi sila masyadong nabibigyan ng pansin. So, that is the family. Second is education. Nasabi ko kanina na I read some articles na sinasabi na less intelligent ang mga babae compared sa mga lalaki. So, if they have that kind of thinking, mas bibigyan nila ng opportunities and privileges yung mga lalaki. So, especially when it comes to education. So, yung mga anak ng mga lalaki is ipapadala nila sa mga gagandang universities, colleges, while maybe yung mga anak nila babae is hindi na pag-aaralan, pero hindi ganun kataas yung standard na makukuha nila. Third is per group. If the society is patriarchal, men will have more acknowledgement on things na sa tingin nila is tama, but it may disregard the rights of women. So, nagkakaroon na ng toxicity if ever na masculinity na lang yung na-acknowledge. Last is mass media. The advertisements or commercials would be focusing on promoting masculinity and their rules, while they will disregard the rights of women. Now that we discussed about the definition of gender roles, what are the four agents of it, and what is the what we call gender socialization process, let's move on to the gender roles in the different countries. The first one is in our country, Philippines. During pre-colonial Philippines, Filipino enjoyed similar privileges like their male counterparts. So, bale, ang mga lalaki and babae has enormous power within a clan. So, they can have, they could own a property, engage in trade, and demand for a divorce if ever na nagkaroon sila ng problema, or if it is needed for them to settle. Last is, vote could also rule a village, especially in the absence of one heir. So there is no hindrances kung hindi makapag-produce yung babae ng anak. There is no rule na maaari silang patayin or maaari silang palayasin. Still, they have the right to rule a village. And also the fact po na during pre-colonial period, men and women have equal rights and have the freedom to live without fear, but with almost prosperity and wealth. And during that time, we have what we call the babaylands. The example for this are Dayang Buka, Haraw Daya, Dayang Sima, and Dayang Kalangitan. These four women symbolizes the empowerment and the strength of a woman. During that time po kasi, sila yung naging leader that time. So, back then on the concept of babaylan, these are the group of select women have vital roles in the community known as barangay. These river women serve as spiritual leaders, tasked to hold rituals for the community, source of guidance and knowledge on a lot of things such as agriculture, medicine, among others. If during pre-colonial, they have what we call datu, yung hari nila. During that time po, meron pong manggagamot, which is the babaylan nga. Sila po yung responsible for their spiritual rituals. And there are superior or they're responsible for the guidance and knowledge on a lot of things. So, dito natin ma-analyze na ang mga babae, they have privileges and opportunities to learn more. Not only on taking care of children, not only taking care of their husbands or family, but also on a lot of things, katulad na lang ng agriculture, medicine, and other field, na that in that time is present. Sunod is in the arrival of the Spaniards. The arrival of the Spaniards immediately relegated the woman on the sidelines and imposed authority on every male in the country. So if ever, nung pre-colonial, ang mga babae is nirespeto and they have their opinion to be heard. Sa Spanish period naman po, mas pinahalagahan nila kung ano yung mga tungkulin ng mga lalaki. And the transition here is women are being treated lower than before, and the male is superior to women. So, nung dumating na ang mga Spaniards, yung authority sa pamilya is na, and sa decision making is napapunta sa mga males. While the female counterparts were left in the domestic affairs, or na lang sila nakatuon sa mga household chores. And this time, 333 years of colonization ng mga Spaniards, ang daming na-discriminate ng mga babae. May narirakan and everything na nangyaring abuse. And it went on for centuries nga. Even after the American and Japanese occupied the country, During the Japanese period, women are being treated as comfort women para sa mga Hapones. And in turn naman sa American, yes, nag-bring sila ng education, but there are still limit sa mga karapatan ng mga babae and men that time. In our present time, 21st century, we can say everyone has much freedom to do what they want, and we have laws na nakapagpigay sa atin ng protection at proper awareness kung ano na ba yung mga rights natin bilang tao. And on our present time, mas malaya tayong ipapakilala kung sino at kung ano tayo based on our gender and preferences. Despite modern technology and global changes, the influence of culture is very much apparent in most societies. Of course, despite of modernization era we are living on right now, we still have our traditions and cultures na talagang pinapreserve natin. Although there are parts na nawawala, but it is really important to preserve something what we have na nakakapagpakilala sa atin kung sino tayo at kung ano tayo. Now let's move on to the gender roles in Asia, specifically Japan. With Japan recognized as an economic superpower, gender roles remain highly influenced by its culture. Societal obligations are still absorbed in the rules. So, may culture po ang Japan na ang mga babae is devoted to their families. They are in control when it comes on household chores, family decision, and finances. So these are the gender roles in Japan. Japanese women still control the household, family decision, and finances. Two is Japanese mothers are expected to prepare a bento box tradition or elaborate lunches for their children to take to school. Third is Japanese men have to work for hours on end for their companies and even spend their free time for the company. When it comes on gender role basis, women are the primary responsible for household chores, finances, and family matters, while men are the provider for the family. So, and also the fact po na Japan is, when it comes on their gender roles po it is more in traditional way. Kung saan yung babae is dapat nakanatili na sa bahay, while man is the provider for the family. So, number 4 is Japanese men are expected to socialize with their managers after long work days. Fifth is men usually recruited directly from colleges and universities by large Japanese companies that seek to foster loyalty and train employees for their own purposes. Women are considered temporary workers and companies do not invest in their training because women are expected to devote more time to their families. So men have more privileges in workplaces compared to Japanese women who are much devoted to the family, which is being dictated by their culture and society. And also the factor giving more favor on men when it comes on opportunities. Number 7, Japanese parents save money and spend more sending their sons to universities, and while daughters are encouraged to take 2-year courses. 8 is marriage is considered as a national duty for women, thus they are not expected to work full-time and spend years in the company. 9 is Japanese woman, once married to the eldest son, are supposed to take care of not only their children, but also their husband's parents. In Japan, they considered marriage as a sacred bond between two people, and of because of it, women are the main devoted on marriage, and it is their national duty for a strong household, but they don't have much opportunity and freedom to work because of this culture. So we can analyze na in Japan, ang men is having more privileges. But if we're going to analyze it further, mas focus sila dun sa concept ng economic superpower. Kasi if you're going to search some articles or studies when it comes to Japan, kita nyo sobrang, na sila, well-developed na, well-improved na. Parang nagli-live na sila 50 years from now. Kasi they are focused more on economic growth. So in Japan, men do all the work to provide for their family while the women stay at their home to take care of their children and the household chores and family decisions. Now let's talk about the gender roles in Latin America. Basically, their gender roles and social expectations are based on their cultural specific values and beliefs. Specifically, machismo and Marianismo. It describes a set of ideal attributes of males and females, respectively. So pag sinabi nating machismo, it refers to the cult of male virility in which the ideal man is bold, intransigent, and sexually aggressive. So, machismo, it is a social construction of masculinity in which encompasses negative and positive attributes such as bravery, dominance, aggression, sexism, sexual prowess, and many more. While Marianismo, it refers to the cult of feminine moral superiority which defines the ideal woman as selfless, submissive, and possessing great spiritual strength. Furthermore po, ang machismo, it is what we call toxic masculinity. Kasi, yung machismo, it is more on men described as emotionally restrictive and brave, strong, parang wala po sila, parang dapat palagi silang superior and dominant. Yun sa concept naman po ng Marianismo, females are meant to be virtuous, modest, and abstinent until marriage. So these are the examples for gender roles. First one is because women are expected to be nurturing and morally superior to men. They have been assigned to duties associated with the family, particularly the rearing and education of children. So, women, of course, based on Marianismo, they are selfless, submissive, and possessing great spiritual strength. So, they are capable of taking care of the children with proper treatment. Second is, by virtue of their supposed strength and assertiveness, men are given an exclusive domain over the public sphere. For examples are politics, economics, international affairs, etc. They are exempted from only responsibility in the home. So here in Latin America, women are the primarily responsible for the family decisions, rent, and household chores. While men, they're more privileges when it comes on political, economic, international affairs. Third is, the men are expected to work hard, protect and provide for a family who depends on him for economic support. So, of course, dun pa lang sa machismo na definition, sasabi na natin na ang lalaki is the main provider for the family. While the marinismo, which is the females, are stay at home. Fourth is, this sense of empowerment tends to cause men to express dominance and superiority inside the home. So, there is a negative concept here. If ever there is a dominance and superiority inside the home, what if a men, because of machismo, thinking na mas nakakaangat sila, is baka maisipin nila na they all still have the right para saktan yung mga babae. Kung paano parang mas aanhin nila yung rights nila. Masasabihin na dapat nakakataas ako sa'yo, ibig sabihin, you are not allowed to fight back. I'm only the superior here, so I'm the one will rule over you, ganon. Moreover po, in Latin America, ang mga LGBTQ+ is not allowed to be alive. They murder them, they kill them. Around 1,300 LGBTQ member are being murdered. Kasi nga po, sa Latin America, they are influenced by the Christianity of a Catholic Church. Meaning, against po sila sa mga katulad ng generation ng mga LGBTQ. They're against to it. That's why they murdered people out of beliefs nila. And of course, and based on the study or based on the news I saw or read, there are a lot of women being discriminated also in this country through femicide, domestic violence, and discrimination. So yun. That's how gender roles works in Latin America. Next is Europe. Economic restructuring in Europe has greatly influenced the traditional gender norms. So, here in Europe, nagkaroon po sila ng magandang plano for the economy and for the people in the society. Because they think women's increasing economic independence has been seen as a main cause of new family pattern. Meaning, they give freedom to women para magtrabaho po sila so that it could gain economic growth. Another thing is, women do not withdraw from the labor market upon major motherhood but continue their work in companies. So, they are still allowed to work even though may na silang mga anak or even though they are married. And sabi din dito na more fathers embrace the idea of active parenting. Hindi na lang yung babae yung nag-aalaga ng bata, but also the father as well. Both men and women engage in learning as well as caring activities. So, both men and women are free to do what they want and to earn money para mag-provide sa pamilya nila. Once again, gender rules are a set of standards or expectations we are supposed to do in a particular situation or place. The four major agents of it are family, education per group, and mass media. And each agent creates normative expectations for gender-specific behavior. And the gender roles in different countries vary depends on their culture, beliefs, and traditions. That would be the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Good morning po. My name is Leanne Villanit and I'm going to discuss na po yung gender roles Africa. So Africa po is home to 54 sovereign states and meron na po silang matagal na paniniwala about sa gender roles. So ang gender roles po is ang naghahari sa kanila or namumuno sa kanila is mga lalaki. And ang gender roles po sa kanila is hindi pa rin po nagbabago. Number one, but patriarchy upholds the supremacy of the man over the woman. So, yun nga po is, mga lalaki po talaga yung namumuno sa kanila and yung mga babae man po is parang sa bahay lang. So, kahit sobrang bata and kahit isip bata pa yung mga lalaki or kahit hindi nakapag-aral yung mga lalaki doon is sila talaga yung mamumuno. And yung mga lalaki na yun is key decision maker, sila yung nagdidesisyon, and syempre protector of the family. Dagdag ko lang po yung mga leaders sa Africa is tinatawag po na Pope and Patriarch of Alexandria and all Africa. 2. Women are viewed as homemakers, childbearers, and wives. So, women daw po ang tungkulin po sa kanila is nasa bahay, childbearers, and bilang asawa din po sa kanilang mga husband. Number 3, women are expected to raise children, cook, clean house, fetch wood, and serve others. So, typically ginagawa ng babae sa bahay, pag-aalaga ng bata, pagluluto, paglinis ng bahay nila, ng panggatong, and magsilbi daw po sa iba. Number 4, women are subjected to repeated childbearing at short intervals, either to satisfy their husband's quest for large family size or as a solution to the high infant morbidity and mortality in the continent. So, yun nga po, women daw po is mag-aanak ng sa maliliit na pagitan para masatisfy yung gusto ng asawa nila na magkaroon ng malaking pamilya or masolusyonan naman daw po yung mataas na bilang ng pagkakamatay ng mga sanggol sa kontinente para sa ipamalit po yung ganun. And sa Africa po, ang merong madaming naging anak is si Musa Hasaya Kasera ng Uganda. Siya po is 70 years old na and nagkaroon siya ng 12 wives, 102 children, and 578 na apo. So, nangyari po yun kasi yung polygamy is legal po sa kanila. Ang polygamy po is pag-aasawa pa ng higit pa sa isa na asawa ng mga lalaki. Mga lalaki lang po yung gumagawa nito. And ang magiging problem naman po nito is hindi mo na mapapalaki ng maayos yung mga anak mo kasi sobrang dami na nila. And ang naging problema din po ni Musa Hasaya is nagkakaroon na sila ng problem sa pantustos, sa pang-araw-araw, and lumadami na sila. Number 5 po, in most societies, men dominate and in some cases, absolutely control the interactions and actions of their family members in virtually all spheres of social relationship. So, lalaki pa din yung may hawak kung paano makipag-interact yung mga family members nila sa iba. So, lalaki pa din. Number 6 po, in all sectors of the economy, men occupy the majority of higher paid jobs. So, dito naman daw po, kahit yung babae and lalaki is parehas ng trabaho, lalaki pa din yung may mataas na sahod, kahit parehas sila ng trabaho. So, dito man daw po tayo sa gender roles sa North America. So, American women have made great progress in closing the gaps and achieving equality with their male counterparts. So, in North America man daw po is nagkaroon na nagkakapantay-pantay pagdating sa gender roles ng babae at lalaki. Hindi na katulad din sa Africa na lalaki lang yung namumuno sa kanila. Dito is nagkakaroon na ng equality. So, the following are prevalent in the American society. Number 1 po, both wives and husbands earn for their family. So, meron ng karapatan yung mga babae na tumulong para sa pangaraw-araw nilang gastusin. And nagkakaroon na ng ng karapatan yung mga babae na magkaroon ng trabaho or para makatulong sa family nila. Number 2, more men help in household duties. So, mga lalaki naman daw po is tumutulong na sa mga gawaing bahay. Number 3, both parents are becoming more involved in raising their children. Yun nga po, yung mga laki is tumutulong ng para sa pagpapalaki ng kanilang mga anak. Hindi na po ito yung mga babae lang yung nag-aalaga sa kanilang mga anak. Dito naman daw po is talagang tumutulong na yung mga asawa na lalaki para sa pagpapalaki ng kanilang mga anak sa bahay. So, in number 5 po, women have become more involved in recreation activities. So, mga babae po is nagkakaroon na ng karapatan na sumali sa mga sports, ganon. Number 5 po, last number na po ito, more women have joined once male-dominated occupation like firefighting, construction, agriculture, aerospace engineering, among others. So, mga babae naman daw is nagkakaroon na ng karapatan na sumali sa mga panlalaking gawain lang na trabaho like sa bombero. Di po tulad ng mga laki lang parang ano po is may karapatan tayo mga babae. May karapatan na yung mga babae na sumali sa mga panlalaking trabaho lang na paniniwala nila. So, panlalaki lang yung nagtrabaho. Di yung trabaho ng mga babae. And sa North America, may karapatan na sila. So, even dito naman sa atin, sa Pilipinas is may karapatan na tayong mga babae na magkaroon ng trabaho na sinasabi nila na panlalaki lang yun. Katulad sa bombero, sa police, sa construction, meron naman siguro ng babae doon. Tapos meron din sa mga tricycle driver. Kita ko yun sa yung mga babae na din na tricycle driver na nasabi ng panlalaking trabaho lang. Yun po. So, dito naman po tayo sa women's roles in different parts of the world. So, Western societies. Women in Western societies like Europe, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and US have made substantial progress toward gender equality in the last 100 years. So, nagkaroon na po ng progress sa pagdating sa gender equality sa Western societies. So, shifting expectations. Shifting expectation po, pagdating sa mga roles sa gawaing bahay, ay nabago na po yun. Tanggap na po na ang mga babae is magkaroon ng trabaho sa iba't ibang trabaho sa government, bombero, engineering, and hindi na po katulad ng dati na may paniniwala pa na panlalaking trabaho, hindi dun pwede yung mga babae. And ngayon po, widely accepted na siya na pwede yung mga babae sa mga ganon. Hindi na katulad ng pag-iisip na yun nga po, lalaki. Yan, di dyan pwede yung babae kasi panlalaking trabaho lang yan. Ngayon po, yun nga, pwede na doon yung mga babae na magtrabaho sa mga ganon. Increase representation in leadership. So, women nga po, may karapatan na yung babae na magkaroon ng position even sa government, sa professional sports, and sa various fields nga po. And di na tayo nagkakaroon na tayo ng quality talaga sa mga ganon. Like, may karapatan na talaga yung mga babae na magkaroon ng pwesto sa government. Hindi katulad na lalaki lang yung nagkakaroon ng position sa government ngayon, pwede na mga babae. So, dito naman po tayo sa equal rights and protection. So, women enjoy equal rights with men, including sa pagboboto, sa pagdadrive, pagkakaroon ng sariling property, and pag-aaral. And meron na din talaga tayong mga batas na magproprotect sa mga kababaihan. And meron din syempre sa mga kalalakihan na talaga magproprotect sa atin talaga sa ating lahat. And natatamasa naman talaga natin yun. So, narrowing gender pay gap. The gender pay gap is decreasing, and some countries show near equal representation of women in government. So, lumiliit yung gender pay gap sa atin. Na parang gender gap natin is talagang maliit na. Hindi katulad na parang malaki is sila lang yung nakakatamasa. Yung mga babae is hindi. Ngayon is lahat na, or siguro sa ibang parts ng mundo is hindi pa ganun. Pero dito sa atin is meron na talaga tayong gender equality. Yun. Dito naman po, changing family dynamics. It's becoming more common for men to assume primary caregiver roles while women are the primary breadwinners. So, ito nga, sa atin nga is parang nagiging normal na yung mga lalaki is nasa bahay lang and yung mga babae is talagang nagtatrabaho sa ibang bansa. Even sa mga, yun nga po, diba, sa OFW, yung para mas madami siguro yung mga babae yung nag-OFW sa atin. Yung sa Pilipinas. So, hindi na rin naman yun nakakahiya na, yung mga lalaki lang yung nag-aalaga sa bahay. And yung mga babae is, sila na yung nagtatrabaho. Hindi nakakahiya sa part nila, hindi naman yung ego nila kasi, naalagaan naman nila yung mga anak nila and ang mga asawa nilang babae yung nagtatrabaho. Gender-neutral parental leave. Many European countries are transitioning from maternity leave to gender-neutral parental leave policy. So, ito naman daw po sa Europe is, inaano talaga nila na yung both parents is mag-leave muna sa trabaho para maalagan yung bago nilang anak, even sa nila yung inadapt lang na baby. But dito po sa atin sa Pilipinas is, yung mother is nagkakaroon ng maternity leave na 105 days, but sa father naman po or paternal is meron lang siyang 7 days. And 7 days na leave, ito po ay under Republic Act number 8187 or tinatawag po ito na the Paternity Leave Act. So, global disparity. The advancement in Western societies highlight the stark contrast with the limited freedoms experienced by women in many other parts of the world. So, ito nga po, makikita talaga natin na sa Western societies is equal. Gender equality na talaga. Meron talagang pagkakapantay-pantay na sa ibang part ng mundo is di pa natatamasa ng mga kababaihan. So, remote tribal communities. Ang well-known po na tribal communities is India. So, diverse gender roles. Gender roles in tribal communities vary widely depending on the specific tribe and geographic location. So, iba-iba sila ng tradition. Depende talaga sa tribe na kinabibilangan nila and sa location ng tribe nila. Hindi sila yung pare-parehas porket tribal communities, iba-iba pa rin sila ng tradition na ginagawa. Restrictive traditions. So, ang mga kababaihan, kung ang mga babae sa Northern America ay nakaranasan ng gender equality, dito pa rin po sa tribal communities is nakaranas pa rin sila ng mga harsh condition. So, parang wala pa rin talaga pantay-pantay and yung mga roles nila doon is limitado pa din. Hindi ka talaga sa Northern America na halos pantay-pantay na yung kayang gawin ng babae and ang babae sa mga lalaki din. So, resistance to modernization. So, ano nga naman po, di nila ina-accept yung pagbabago sa mundo natin. Kung tayo sa Pilipinas is magamit tayo mga modern technologies tulad ng mga computer, mga bagong phone, mga AI, and kung saan talaga is hindi nila ina-accept, hindi nila yung ginagamit. Ano pa nila? And particular po talaga sa Northern Africa na maintain talaga nila yung traditional cultures nila. Hindi nila yung tinatagpal sa kanila. Diyan po tayo sa patriarchal structures. So, many tribes are patriarchal with men trained as warriors and women focus on domestic tasks, food gathering, cooking, clearing, and childbearing. So, ito na naman po tayo sa patriarchal. And yun nga po, pag patriarchal structures is mga lalaki talaga nag-dominate sa isang bansa na yun. Sa tribal communities is mga lalaki pa din. Mga lalaki yung para ng ngaso. And yung mga babae talaga is focus dapat sila sa gawaing bahay. Pagluluto, pag-asikaso ng mga anak, and childbearing. Yun po tayo sa pagdadala naman ng anak. Polygamy and age disparities. So, polygamy po is common in some tribes like Maasai, often involving significant age differences between spouses. So, pag sabi polygamy nga po is pag-aasawa pa ng higit pa sa isa, dalawa, hanggang humigit pa. And common siya sa tribal communities and nag-i-involve talaga siya ng kahit yung lalaki is sobrang tanda na, pwede pa siya mag-asawa ng mas bata. And dito naman po tayo sa harmful traditional practices na ginagawa sa tribal communities. Genital mutilation, extreme body modification for aesthetic purposes, and other harmful rituals are prevalent in some tribal communities. So, traditional practice na ginagawa pa din sa ginagawa ng mga tribal communities like dito po sa example practices nila is finger amputation. Kung alam niyo po yung finger amputation is parang yung mga daliri ng mga ewan ko lang po kung ginagawa siya sa mga lalaki pero parang mas common siya sa mga babae yung parang pagtatagkal ng mga kuko or parang pagpapaliit ng mga kuko ng mga babae doon. And like ginagawa po siya sa Papua New Guinea and yung breast disfigurement po is ginagawa siya sa Cameroon. Yun nga po yung mga example ng harmful traditional practices na ginagawa talaga sa tribal communities. So, ang FGM po or female genital mutilation is partial or total removal of the female external genital organs. So, parang sinisira talaga nila yung mga genital organs ng mga babae. Or external talaga. And, ginagawa siya sa babae talaga siya ginagawa sa mga young girls between infant hanggang age 15. Yung FGM na yun or female genital mutilation. Developing nations. Ongoing challenges. Women in developing nations in South America, Africa, Asia face significant obstacles despite some progress in gaining freedoms. So kahit na nagkaroon ng progress na magkaroon sila ng kalayaan is meron pa din talaga ng mga obstacle na nararanasan pa din nila. So ang mga ongoing challenges na nararanasan pa rin nila is widespread poverty, limited access to healthcare, significant debt burdens, climate change impacts, poor education system, food insecurity, political instability, and a lack of access to clean water and sanitation. Limited access to education. So, syempre, talagang importante na dapat meron tayong education, mga paaralan dito para makapag-aral talaga lahat. And dito po sa developing nation is major barrier siya para sa mga babae. With women accounting for 2/3 of the world's illiterate population. So, malaki talaga na kaya dapat talaga na yung mga babae is nakakapag-aral talaga. So, traditional gender roles, outdated expectation often confine women to domestic roles. So, yung mga developing nation, parang pa rin sila, nag-expect pa rin sila na, yung mga babae dapat nasa bahay lang yan, ganyan. So, ganun. Parang, hindi nila inaayon na dapat yung mga babae is mag-aaral, dapat pwede na rin meron trabaho, hindi dapat yung mga expectation nila, hindi na katulad yung mga babae na nasa bahay lang or nagluto, nag-aalaga ng bata. Kailangan na din natin na mag-aral, masok ng mga magandang trabaho, and dapat meron na talagang gender equality. Huwag na yung outdated expectation para sa mga babae. So, harmful practices po sa developing nations is higher rates of child marriage, arranged marriage, tapos pagbubuntis ng maaga, and maglilid yan sa health complication na hindi agad mare-resolve kasi meron lang na limited healthcare access sa mga developing nations. So, yung mga babae is parang kakaroon na talaga sila ng malubhang karamdaman dahil doon. Kasi kulang sila ng healthcare. So, violence and exploitation sa developing nations, sexual and physical violence, sex trafficking are more prevalent with often lenient punishments for perpetrators. So, parang dito sa developing nations is nagkakaroon ng para mababang parusa pagdating sa may mga kasalanan ng ganito. More prevalent. So, prevalent siya sa mga developing nation kasi para siya nangyayari na kadalasan dito sa developing nations. So, dito man po sa higher poverty rates. So, fewer employment opportunities contribute to higher rates of poverty among women in developing nations. So, sa developing nation po is mababa pa yung mga nagtatrabaho. So, yung economy nila is mababa pa din. So, naganot na mataas na kahirapan or poverty among women dito nga po sa developing nations. So, dito man po tayo sa matriarchal societies. Matriarchal societies exist. So, popular belief po na meron tayong matriarchal societies where women hold significant power. So, sa ano man po sa matriarchal is, yung mga babae po yung nag-dominate dito. So, historical significance po. Some scholars believe matriarchal societies were the original form of human social organization with the shift towards patriarchy occurring around 3000 BC. But dito po sa ano na po ito, paniniwala na ang matriarchal ang pinagmulan is para ano lang po siya, paniniwala lang po siya na ito po yung pinagmulanan. Ang tawag po dito is myth of matriarchal prehistory. So, pinaniwalaan po ito kasi sa mga nakitang artifacts and mga stories na naganap. So, ang example po ng gumagamit ng mga matriarchal societies is the Mosowo of China. And dito pong 2016 is ang nangyari, and meron pa po silang sole heirs sa pamilya nila na babae po talaga. And yun pa rin po yung naghahari sa Mosowo, China. And meron din po sa Minangkabau of West Sumatra, Bravery of Costa Rica, Garo of Northeast India, and Nagovisi of New Guinea are examples po ng matriarchal societies. And in some po, women choose and remove male leaders. And kaya talaga mga women po talaga yung nag-dominate sa matriarchal societies. So, female-only societies, the Umoja tribe in Kenya is a unique example of a women-only society offering refuge from gender-based violence. So, female-only societies, may nag-exist po pala talagang ganito na talagang mga babae lang yung nasa isang society na gano'n. And dito nga po sa Umoja tribe in Kenya po is, yun po yung ino-offer ng society na yun para magkaroon po ng para wala po mangyari ng mga violence para sa mga babae. Yan po ang matriarchal societies. Thank you po.
Good day, everyone. My name is Malcolm David Gonzaga, and I will be discussing women's work, challenging gender roles in the Philippines. Traditional gender roles in the Philippines. Women were traditionally expected to handle housework and childcare, while men were seen as primary earners. Cultural beliefs reinforce this division, shaping expectations for both genders. So, sa Pilipinas kasi, matagal nang nakasanayan na ang lalaki ang breadwinner. Tas ang babae naman is stay lang sa bahay para mag-alaga ng pamilya. Parang automatic na ganun ang setup. Pero ngayon, nagbabago na siya. Shifting roles and initiatives. We Care Project by Oxfam and Unilever promotes shared household responsibilities. Data collection highlights the impact of unpaid care work, emphasizing the need for gender equality at home. More men are now helping with household tasks, and younger generations are embracing equality. Traditional beliefs still influence many households, making change slow. Women continue to struggle for leadership roles despite efforts towards equality. Social change is happening, but deeply rooted gender roles remain a challenge. May mga projects like We Care na nagtuturo sa mga lalaki na mag-share ng household responsibilities. May studies na nagsasabing na kapag pantay ang gawain, mas nagiging maayos ang family dynamics, mas open na rin ang younger generation sa gender equality. Pero hindi ibig sabihin na madali ang lahat, since marami pa ring babae na nahihirapan makapasok sa leadership roles at malakas pa rin ang influence ng traditional beliefs sa society natin. Women in Southeast Asia. Women in pre-modern Southeast Asia. Women played key roles in trade, agriculture, and family decision-making. Societies practiced bilateral kinship, allowing women to inherit property. Women held leadership roles, with some becoming rulers of adversary. So, noon kasi, bago dumating ang mga colonizers, malaki ang role ng babae sa Southeast Asia. Hindi lang sila parang bahay lang, nagwo-work. Parang nakikipag-trade din sila at sa mismong nagde-decide ng mga maraming bagay sa pamilya. Unlike sa other cultures dito na may bilateral kinship, meaning pwedeng magmana ng property ang babae. May mga babaeng rulers at advisors pa nga like hindi sila basta-basta na set aside. May power talaga sila sa society. Kaya makikita natin before colonization, mas independent at respected ang mga babae dito compared sa other regions. So, women in Southeast Asia. Women and colonialism. Effects of colonization. European rule favored men, restricting women's rights. Laws limited women's ownership of land and political roles. Colonial ideas reinforced patriarchal family structures. Women's role in resistance. Women joined colonial movements as fighters, organizers, and spies. Despite their contributions, men still dominated politics post-independence. So, sa women and colonialism, nung dumating ang mga European colonizers, nag-iba-iba ang takbo ng buhay ng mga babae. Mas naging patriarchal ang society kasi mas pinapaboran ng mga bagong batas ang mga lalaki. Like limited na ang rights ng women, bawal na sila mag-own ng land, hindi sila pwedeng mag-participate sa politics. Pero hindi naman ibig sabihin nun na tumahimik sila. Maraming babae ang sumali sa resistance movements and may mga naging fighters organizations spies. Ang problema lang kahit pagkatapos ng colonization is hindi pa rin nila nabibigyan ng equal opportunities yung leadership positions kasi halos puro lalaki din ang may hawak ng mga positions. Women in Southeast Asia. Women in contemporary Southeast Asia. Modern roles and achievements. Women now have a greater access to education and employment. Many hold political positions, including heads of state and government officials. Economic participation has increased, especially in urban and areas in global industries. Ongoing challenges. Gender wage gap remains a major issue. Women face barriers in leadership roles despite legal equality. Violence against women and lack of reproductive rights protection continue to be concerns. So ngayon, mas marami ng opportunities ang women sa Southeast Asia. Mas may access na sila sa education careers, tas leadership roles, may mga bansa pa nga na nagkakaroon ng female presidents at prime ministers. Pero kahit may progress, may challenges pa rin, may gender gap pa rin, tas meaning nun is mas mababa ang sahod ng babae kahit same work lang. Mahirap pa rin for women to climb the corporate ladder at meron pa ring gender-based violence at discrimination. So yes, malayo ang nararating pero hindi ibig sabihin na tapos na ang laban for true gender equality. Yun lang po. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening.